What's going on, world? Welcome to my podcast. This is Just Different with Ty, where I talk about sports, social, political issues, you name it, everything under the sun. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave all comment sections below. I have a very, very important, serious video today. Just put a little disclaimer out there, as you see, and I have someone here. And go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hi, أنا ليلى من شمال إفريقيا, specifically Jazair. I've been in America for a few months now, and we're here to talk about, how life has been in America and what my life was like in Algeria.
All right, so let's get right into it. So, as you said, you're from Algeria, correct? And tell me, what was life like for you in Algeria?
My life was normal. It was good, but after I had hopes that were not being met, especially after COVID. I mean, I graduated college and I couldn't find a job, so yeah, that's why I decided to come here. Otherwise, everything was good.
Really? So you said you decided to come here. Now, you're closer, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're closer, and I've seen a lot of people from Algeria go to or migrate to Europe, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So why didn't you take that route?
Well, first of all, I don't know, I've always liked the US more than Europe. And then through the years, a lot of people from Algeria went to Europe, and their experiences, they were okay, but they would always say that they were racist over there. They were tired of seeing, because there's a big community of North Africans there. And in France, they start to not like their streets, when they go out, their streets are filled with Algerians, Moroccans, Tunisians. So I felt like I wouldn't be wanted there. So I thought America would be better.
So now you said you something about America that made you say, hey, I want to go. Have you actually been to America before, prior to coming here now?
No, all I know is what I've seen on movies. I kind of fell in love with America through movies. And series.
So yeah, what was your perception of America before you came here? And since you've been here now for some time, do you still have that same perception of United States of America?
So, I'm not gonna lie, the image I had of America was just everything's not perfect, but like the American dream, like freedom, everyone is allowed to be themselves, like the economy is better, so like if you work, let's say in Algeria, like you work really, really hard to only like afford something that you could afford here by doing, I don't know, like working for a week. You'd have to work in Algeria for like, I don't know, a year. That's what I was imagining. Like more money, more freedom, more opportunities, especially. Yeah.
And now since you're here, how do you feel about United States of America now?
I feel like it has met my expectations in a lot of areas, but it's never the same as it is in your head, like the fantasy. The reality is so much different than fantasy. So, yeah.
Now, can you elaborate a little bit more, go into, if you want to, about what you feel is different from what you thought? Like, what, did you think like, I was going to come here and everybody was going to be rich and everybody's going to realize it wasn't going to be like that? Like, was those some of the things that you noticed and seen?
I noticed that things are not as, things are more expensive than what I thought they would be. Like, I don't know if it's because of inflation, but it's not, the things are expensive. Like, you have to work hard in America and in America, nothing is free. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, any little thing, you have to pay for it. So it adds up.
So now, I know you said in the beginning that America to you meant free, right?
Yeah.
Like as in a sense of people.
Yeah.
Right.
in Algeria,
Yeah,
which is in Africa.
it is.
Right?
So, did you not learn any history on America as it pertains to black people and what black people have experienced and still experience in America?
To be honest, we didn't. We only we studied America in geography, but we never studied its history. We didn't have it in our program. But
Really?
yeah, but I knew things from the media, TV, things that my parents told me. I knew that there was a part of time where America was divided, like black people over here, white people over there. But I didn't know. We never studied it in school.
Really? So even, let's say, because you are Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So even someone as great as Malcolm X, right?
Yeah.
One of the greatest leaders of all time, who's also Muslim. That was his life, and nothing like that was taught in Algeria.
It was actually taught briefly in another subject, not history, but we have in Algeria, we have how do you say it, like the Islamic subject, like math, English, and then you learn about religion, which is in Algeria it's Islam. So we did talk about him and how he was a Muslim and how he wanted. He was a big leader in the African American community.
So, adding on, what was before coming to America, right?
Yeah.
And not just you, maybe your friends, family, the Algerians. What is their perception of Black Americans? Be truthful.
Black Americans?
Yes.
To be honest, like in my family and back there in Algeria, when they think of America, they think of white people. Like they know that there are, but they think that the majority is just white. Just white people.
So wait, so they don't know that there's no black people in America?
No, like they know, but like I don't think I've never heard of them like have an opinion like on them.
What is your perception? What was your perception of Black America? The little that you know or was taught.
Yeah.
What was your perception of Black Americans?
From the media, from TV, I don't know. I just consider them as Americans.
Okay, but how did you say from the media and TV? Because I want to pinpoint this. How did the media portray Black Americans, and did that have an effect on how you viewed Black Americans?
Yeah, it definitely did. I knew that they portray them as a minority. It's almost like the feeling that's why I said like my father and the they don't, because when they see TV, they only see like almost white people representing America. They don't think of like, I don't know, older generations, they don't know Beyonce, they don't know, these actors.
Black people, for the most part, you would think, or you would say, I'm not saying you said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but black people were viewed as musicians. Black Americans was, so if that was the how you viewed the perception.
Michael Jackson is big in my country.
Okay. No. I just wanted, because you hear different from different cultures and different countries throughout the world. When I ask what is the perception of Black America, it's usually a negative, bad, gang.
I think that it is a little.
I want to know was that perception, did you have that perception due to media?
Yeah, I did a little. You see, like gangs. Like I don't know. I don't have on top of my mind a movie or something. But I don't think, like in Algeria, we don't go that deep into it. We just think of America like just the land. That's it. We don't really go that deep into who's who.
So what is your perception of Black people now that you work, live amongst, and able to communicate with Black people now? Do you still have those same perceptions?
A little, and I guess I don't know. I've talked to a lot of Black people, and they tell me like, I kind of like, I don't know, I want to talk about Harlem. One time I went to Harlem, and there were a lot of people on drugs there, and then my friend told me this story about how they used to put like I don't know if I want to say it, like they used to put crack in those because she told me that those neighborhoods were full of artists and people come together to share their art and everything, and then they did it on purpose where they made those areas like that.
Now, when you say they, who are you referring to that they put it on purpose? The government?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's what she said.
Smart friend.
According to her.
Was COVID was mandated in Algeria?
COVID?
Yes.
COVID vaccine?
Yes. Was it the COVID vaccine? Was it a thing where, like how in America, people had to take that shot in order to work, provide, feed for their family? Was it mandated in Algeria?
No, absolutely not.
Why not?
I don't know, but it's your choice. If you want to take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. And it was mostly like old people who went to take it because they said on TV that old people are at risk. So I guess they were. It's mostly a choice. So yeah, but they did have to take it to travel though. They did. Yeah, I almost took it to come here.
Okay. So since you've been here, and you obviously see that there's so many different ethnicities here and whatever have you, have you made friends or any worked with anything where people told you to stay away from black people and they're bad or et cetera, and has that happened?
Yes, it did happen. It happened like twice. Where someone told me to, I was in my job and I have conversations like with a lot of people, and one time the conversation like lasted not a while, but a good minute, and then my boss said, don't be too friends with, stick to what you know, basically.
Wow. And when they said that, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel like I'm doing something wrong, even though it made me feel like, I don't know, not controlled, but it was wrong. Like, what did I do wrong? I just had a conversation with someone. They were making up in their head things that weren't there. Like, they mentioned something about drugs, and
So luckily you had, your own common sense to know that what this person was saying about black people was inaccurate, correct? Or
Yeah, because
when they were saying that, I know why they, he probably saw the images on TV and everything. Maybe, and I think something happened to him with black people. Maybe, like, I don't know. He seemed like he had
something against black people. That's, So I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
When I was our mutual friend, and we had this conversation about interviewing you, and it was told that you was from Algeria, right? My perception of you is not what I thought. To be honest with you, I'm thinking Algeria, Africa. Although I know in Africa is the most, genetically diverse people, so we come in all different colors. We come in 12 different colors. I did not think that, you would be that fair skinned. I'm not gonna lie. I was caught off guard.
I get that a lot.
And again, I was just thinking, hey, Algeria, all right. It's gonna be about my complexion, this is gonna be great to have dialogue, etc., 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 etc. When you talk about coming from Algeria or whatever have you, do people have that same situation where they caught off guard on how you look? Because although I kind of know, there's so many different complexions, whatever have you, but when people think of Africa, they just think of one shade. Dark, that's it, whatever have you. Do you run into that a lot? And do people even believe you when you say you come from North Africa?
Yeah, almost 99% of the people I meet have that same reaction. Like, what? No way. Especially, they ask me where I'm from. I say, I started saying North Africa because I always say Algeria, and they say, where is that? Because they don't know. It's not known as a country. And then I tell them in North Africa, and then they look at me like I'm crazy. And then, and then I tell them, they say, how are you light skinned and live in Africa? And then I tell them, I always point to Egypt. They, oh, we're next to Egypt. Like, look, it's there.
Yeah.
And then they kind of remember like Egyptians and, Moroccans, Nigerians.
So you born and raised in Algeria. How do you speak English so well?
So, first of all, Algerians are really good with languages. Like, in Algeria, the minimum is 3 languages. So we speak, our official languages are Arabic and French. And now recently they added the indigenous language, like officially, like in papers, and they tried slowly to get it in there. So yeah.
So now we're gonna add on to that. Why is French a language spoken or curriculum taught in Algeria?
Well, we've been colonized by the French for a really long time, and it just stayed with us.
Really?
Yeah.
So when did Algeria gain their independence? Do you know around?
In 1962.
Oh, okay. And they still okay.
So we've been Algeria is a baby of a country. We've been only independent for 60 years. So it's like we're still, as a country, like evolving, trying to build ourselves, our own identities.
Has Algeria progressed since being liberated from France?
I guess in some area it did, but we've had a civil war in the 90s. That was really horrible.
With who?
With inside the country, with the
There was an Islamic party that wanted to rule. They wanted Algeria to be like an Islamic state. We would follow Sharia law, and then after that, it's the trauma of the war with the French, and then the trauma with the Civil War. It's like, we've been through a lot.
And I also know that Algeria, I don't know if you still are or was going to war with Morocco, correct?
We're not going to war, but we're in conflict.
Now, you also said, and I want to go back to it, you talked about the indigenous language was something that was added in, right?
Yes.
That was added in. Now, what's the indigenous language?
It's the Berber language, Amazigh language. It was always spoken from forever. It just was added in officially because people said they wanted their language to be recognized with Arabic and French. So now they start to teach it in school, because in elementary school, we start to learn French as kids with Arabic. So we have to learn, we're bilingual, so we have to learn Arabic, and then when we start, because first of all, the language we speak is North African dialect at home. We don't speak the Arabic that's spoken in the Middle East. So when we go to school at 6, we start learning the actual Arabic, which is hard, by the way. And then 2 grades later, or I don't know, 3, they introduce French. So we start learning French, and now they've added English in elementary too. I started learning English in middle school. Now it's in elementary school, and on top of that, the indigenous language, how to speak it, because you have to speak it, you have to write it differently. It's not like we don't write it with Arabic alphabet. We don't write it with the Arabic, Western Arabic alphabet.
All right. So, okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I want to ask you this question. It might make you a little bit uncomfortable. Now, when you talk about You being from born and raised in Algeria.
Yes.
What do you identify yourself as? Do you see yourself as an African, or do you see yourself as an Arab?
I see myself as Algerian, but if I had to, like, I see myself as not African, but North African and Arab at the same time. It's weird. We're actually both. We're Arab North Africans. We're the Arabs of Africa.
So would you say, because I'm going somewhere with this, so I want you to follow me.
Yes.
Would you say, because you talked about how the French colonized
Yes.
Algeria, right? Around what year? You know what year was that? Was that, I don't even remember what year. Was that in 1800s? I can't remember what it was. But I say that to say you have a group of Algerians in the south, or a group of Africans that feel that, or historically, from a historical point, Arabs came into Africa as invaders and to colonize them. And this is why you have, Arabs there now settling. You have a lot of different African countries where Arabic is the official language, and that's not their native language, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if you're familiar with this history. Not sure. So what do you say when you hear things like that? Is that true? Have you done the research?
Do you mean, like, do I feel an outsider in Africa?
Yeah, that, and also, it goes to the point of how you identifying yourself as well. Like, what do you see yourself as? But yes, to put it in that bluntly way, do you see yourself as an outsider?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that. I see myself as North African, but there's definitely not a big connection with North Africa with the rest of Africa. It does feel a little separated.
Now, why do you think the reason of that? And I'm not saying it's the answer you giving me is 100% correct. It's just your opinion, your views, how you feel, what you may see. What's the cause of that if you say North Africa, right? Or a lot of different states in North Africa is kind of disconnected to the rest of Africa?
So I don't want to say this is the reason, but I've read somewhere that, when, not just Algeria, a lot of parts of Africa were colonized by, the French, and I think they made it, I read somewhere, I'm not sure if it's true, that they made it hard for African countries to communicate with each other on purpose in those times. I don't know why. They said that you'd be able to communicate, let's say, from Algeria to America better than from Algeria to Nigeria, which is like close to each other. So maybe that's why. And then the second thing, we don't speak the same language. Like Algeria, Tunisia, and Egypt to Morocco, we speak the same language. Especially Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia, we're basically the same people, just divided by borders. So maybe that's why. And also the big one, we don't look like each other. Maybe that's why.
You mean when you say we? Who are you talking about? The states that you just named don't look the same as other places in Africa, other countries in Africa?
Yeah, and also not just that, religion too.
Because the main religion there is Islam. Basically.
So I don't know if we're supposed to be in Africa, that whole part, but yeah.
Okay.
Because
there was actually, not a long time ago, I don't know which country it was, but they were basically saying it was an African country, and it was African people saying that us, the North Africans, should either go to France or go to Dubai or the Middle East, because we don't belong there.
Really?
Yeah.
It was in the news, I remember.
Really?
You can look it up.
Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. So do you see yourself as the same as the Arabs and basically Jordan, or the country Jordan, or in the Middle East? Do you see as like, or are y'all different? Do you look at them as we are all the same, or y'all different?
We're a little different.
In what way?
They wouldn't understand my dialect.
Really?
No, they wouldn't. I would understand theirs, but they would not. Even Egyptian, I don't think would understand my dialect.
Really?
It's
North African dialect. It's like mixed with French, but in like not like word by word. Like even words, Arab words have been French. I don't know how to say it. Frenchized. Yeah. So it's not as simple as saying word, mixed into languages, like saying a word in English and a word in Arabic. It's like the word itself is just remixed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you before we you're talking about your plight here, you and Islam. Now, my question is, and I want to make sure I take the time to say it correctly, right?
yes.
Algeria. From what I've seen, what I studied, what I looked at, and I could be wrong, could be false information, that when it comes to homosexuality, right? When it comes to man with man, anything like that, that there is a big no-no. That is not only like a sin, but there are laws against that in Algeria, where people go to prison or go to jail or whatever have you. Is that true?
It is true. I'm not really aware. I can't tell you what the specific law says, but I know it's something along with what you said, that it is. It's a big no-no. Not just with law, with society in general. It's not acceptable at all.
So if you are a devoted, right, Muslim, right?
Yes.
And this is your culture. This is what makes you is Islam. Why would you decide to come to America, a place, United States of America, where they protect, right, and they support LGBTQ, community? Being that you're coming from a place in Algeria where, as this is a no-no, you're Algerian, you being Muslim, it says in there, in the Sodom and everything else, that this is a no-no. Why would you want to then come into a place that is so against the principles of your foundation of who you are?
I'm not really I wouldn't say I'm the devoted Muslim. I am Muslim, but it's not my whole life. But I am Muslim. I always say I am. Even though to be honest, I don't care if there are LGBTQ rights here. They live their lives. I live mine. It doesn't trigger me in any way. I'm not that type of person. I'm not. They do their thing. I do mine.
I get that, and that's nice, cool. However, and I'm gonna, add on this again. You might not care, but according to your religion,
Yeah.
this is a no-no.
I guess I'm gonna speak for people who would feel strongly about this subject. I think the benefits outweigh whatever. Like, you can't go somewhere and expect everything to be perfect and catered to you. I don't expect that. So the benefits outweigh whatever doesn't go with your beliefs or whatever,
So how does, before I move on to that, because we're going to stick on this religion stuff, right? We're going to stick on this. What does Islam mean to you?
It's my religion. it's just not, it's not only a religion. Even if I don't practice everything, I'm not 100%. I don't anywhere near actually 100%, but it's part of my culture. It's what I grow up, it's kind of like you, I don't know what your religion is, but like, you do Christmas, it's your memories, it's your family, it's your friends. So even though there are things in my religion that I personally don't agree with, it hurts me when someone says something bad about my religion, even though I myself probably agree with them. But it's like,
Okay, all right. So, why does the West have a misunderstanding of Islam?
I think a lot of that.
They think anybody that Islam is in the jihad and they want to blow up stuff, and why the West has this perception and they put it in people's heads in America that anything that's associated with Islam is terrorist.
It is, and they use movies for that.
So why is that? Why is that?
I think
It's political.
Political?
Yeah, to justify the.
But you still, even with that, right? Knowing that, you still said, you know what? Although I am a Muslim, although Islam is my life, my foundation, right? I'm still gonna come to a place where it portrays me and who I am, my culture, everything, my family in a negative, the most negative, false light. Why would you still do that?
I guess, to be honest with you, I've never, people here, they're not as racist. I don't know, I've never experienced racism here. And I have family here. So in their experience, they tell me all the time that they've never experienced racism. And of course, like, I'm not gonna lie, they do things to fit in more. Because my experience would be different than someone who would wear, let's say, hijab and be, because if I don't tell certain people, they wouldn't know. But even if they did know, I tell people I'm Muslim all the time, and no one seems judgmental.
No one seems. Basically, to your face.
To my face, yeah.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
yeah, some of them are. They associate. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So can, what I want to know is, where does Algeria stands on abortion?
abortion.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
I think, actually, we might have to check. Because in Algeria, it's such a different world where, I guess married people, I don't know, to be honest. I don't want to say. I think it is illegal. Like, you have to go to a shady clinic to get it.
Really? Okay. So, what I want to know is,
It's not just illegal, but it's also haram in religion. It's forbidden. So yeah, it is illegal actually.
Okay. Just, can you own I'm just throwing it out there. Can you own a firearm?
No, not even police have firearms.
In Algeria? Really?
Yeah, I think so. I might have to check, but I think since they have like those, not firearms, but like not fake ones
or something.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because when the Civil War happened, I don't know, something happened with the police. The people were saying that the police are killing people in the protest on purpose. So I guess when there was peace and the Civil War was over, they made the police not have guns so that they wouldn't, kill people.
Wow. So, when you came here, right, to America, from what few of my friends told me, few people that I know from different countries in Africa, whether if it's Kenya, whether if it's Tanzania, whether if it's Ghana, they all talk about identity thing, where First they tell me, you know, at the embassy they make them watch movies and all this other stuff, and it shows black people shooting other black people. You know, you can comment on that if you seen anything like that where they say, listen, you gotta stay away from black people, and they show you at the embassy. But the other thing is, what I want to know is, giving where you was born, your geographical locale, where you was born in Algeria.
Yes.
But also looking at how you look. Like I said, I was caught off guard. I didn't think you were. I think you was Algerian, think you was African. I thought you were 100% white, you know, from Sweden somewhere. You know, that's what I thought. But I'm just being honest. But when you had to check your background, right, your ethnicity,
Yes.
did you check black or white?
The other category is other.
Yes.
Yeah, I would check other.
No, you said you would, but did you? Did you, like, when you did you check black or white?
No, I didn't
checked
check.
other.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm not black and I'm not white. And you know something interesting? Someone in my family close to me did those. I don't know if they're 100% real or they're fake, but the DNA ancestry test where you swab, your saliva and they take it, and it came back 2%, something like 2% Italy, and then 98% Northern Africa. That's what they said. So you can't tell me. It didn't say Arab. It didn't say Middle Eastern. It says like 2% Italy, and the rest just Northern Africa. And Italy is close to us. It's like right here.
Okay, so here's my thing. Usually you do that. And I could be wrong when you do the ancestry stuff. It goes back a few hundred. You know, it goes back a few generations back, maybe a few hundred years. So if a group of people come to a new area and settle in this new area, that does not make them like indigenous to that area. So I don't know if you know, I'm just saying, I'm just putting that out there. So when it goes back to that, right, and you say that says North African, whatever have you. Now, when you look at that, because I want to be very careful with how I word this. You know, again,
No,
I always have to be careful. And you know what? I'm not even gonna go down that road. I'm gonna save that. I'm not even gonna go down that road. But what I will say is, when you talk about your family member, what box did they check? And did they have any influence in telling you, hey, check this box right here, or you know, even though you did what you wanted to do, but did you have any influence from any family members or friends telling you, check here because this is gonna be better, you're gonna get more opportunities or anything like that?
They check white.
Your family check white.
Yeah, at least I know one of them checks white, but they never influenced me or anything. No, but if I were, like, you want me to answer if I were to check black, would you say black and white?
Yeah.
If I were to check one of them, I would check white.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now, why would you check white?
Because I'm closer than. Like,
But you're North African. You're African.
But
if there is no, I say I check other. But if I said I had only two options,
You would check
Because if
black.
I
check black, and then they look at me.
I mean, I don't know if there's black people different, but there's probably some black people. Maybe about your, maybe I'm not sure. Black people come in all different, you know, but you would check white just because of your complexion, not because.
No, I say I check other, but
Check other. No, I'm saying if you had a chance, if you had to pick between black and white, right? You said you would check white, right?
yeah, if I had like.
Now, is that
Based on your complexion, or based on because you feel that this will grant me better opportunities in the social status, or because deep down inside I really want to be white? I don't know. I'm just asking. asking you.
I don't feel white at all.
Okay. So I'm just trying to find out.
But-
Yes,
You know.
when I came here, the impression here that you would definitely get more opportunities, like if you're white, yeah. But there are people that told me that no, now it's different in when Biden is here. I don't know. They say that now they're giving opportunities more to black people. So yeah, I heard both versions. There were people who told me that like if they perceive you white, you would get more opportunities, and then there were other people who would tell me no, like lean on your North African side, because now it's like Biden is, how it is. So I don't know. What do you think is?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. I guess you.
But to me,
sway to what you feel, yeah.
I don't feel white. I never want people to think I want to be white. I'm who I am. I'm North African. I'm Arab. I'm Muslim. That's who I am.
That's who she is. Now you going back to something, and I'm because you was talking about in school they taught you French and everything else like that. Can you speak French fluently?
Yes, it's my second language. Je peux parler français très fluent.
What was that?
It means I do speak French fluently.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said everyone had to. That was like everyone had to speak at least 3 languages.
Not have to, but living in Algeria, yeah, I guess you would have to, because you learn them in school, and then we speak them in some offices in Algeria, like administrations. They would only speak to you in French.
Yeah.
You would feel people who don't speak French. And also, my grandfather, he could not write Arabic. He could only write in French because the French banned Arabic in schools when he was growing up during that time.
Wow.
So Arabic you could not learn Arabic in school. They wanted to erase the Arab identity from Algeria.
Wow. So, how do you feel about France, being that how you feel they colonized you, and well, not you particularly, but Algerians? Do you have like a sour do you what's when you hear France, what goes through your mind?
I don't jump out of joy. Yeah, they took a lot of things from us. They exploited us. They took a lot of things from my country, and when the war happened, they cost us a lot of resources, human resources. But it is what. Thank God that we got our independence from them.
Wow. So, going on about tourists, because when you hear about with American tourists, they can't go over there to Algeria, they're gonna be killed and this and that and whatever have you. They don't want, this is stuff that some things the media puts out there with anybody from America, particularly white people, that comes over to Algeria, you will be killed, hung, whatever, beaten down, whatever. Is there any truth to that?
No, it's not true. Algeria is very safe. As of now, at least not, like you wouldn't be, maybe if you go out in the street at 2 a.m. someone will rob you, but nothing like in the media would they say, not in the media, but in Google, I've seen that too, I've read that, they say that it's not actually safe to travel, but it is safe. There is no terrorists that we know of.
So, not sure if you know the country of Niger.
Right.
I do, yeah.
So I've seen some things where I guess the people of Niger is trying to flee their country maybe, and they was looking for asylum in Algeria.
Yes.
And from what you hear on the news, what you see, and I don't know if it's true, I'm not there. You have people from Niger talk about how they're being treated, how they're being abused, how the police is treating them, beating them down, doing all these different things. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know about the police. I don't want to say something that I didn't see, but they're definitely not getting treated well in Algeria. That's for sure. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And a lot of them, they themselves, they don't intend on settling in Algeria. First of all, it's hard. Like, Algeria would make it impossible for you to, they can't even go to school, I think. The kids, they're out in the street all the time, asking for money. They're in really bad conditions. I remember how it was. But yeah, they consider Algeria just how do you say it? Like a stop in the road to get to probably Europe or something. They will join actually maybe Algerians themselves and go to Europe.
Yeah, correct. So now a few more questions. I'm not gonna, ask you two more. But speaking of, there's a divide, correct me if I'm wrong, with Algerians in the north and Algerians in the south, kind of around the Sahara or whatever have you.
Yeah.
What is that relationship like between the Algerians in the north? That seems to be a lot of them more likely fair skin.
Yes.
And in the south, a lot of them are about my complexion. Not all, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying. What is that relationship like?
There's actually there's fewer. A lot of people go to Algeria it's the biggest country in Africa, and a lot of it is not even occupied. Everyone is just concentrated on the northern part, and I would say the people in the Sahara, there's few of them, and it's also like it feels like they're in a totally different country. They're so far from us. There is no I don't know. I think they even feel it. They feel like they're being put aside, not part of the country.
You have some of them that felt, again, this is how they felt, that they was pushed out by, they were in the north as well, and then during the time of colonization, this is what they say, by the Arabs, they then was pushed down to down the south, the Sahara here, this is where you're at, we're taking over your country, whatever have you. This is what some reports say. I don't know if there's any truth to that. So I was just trying to get some insight on what you think of that. Is that true? And also, are there any southern Algerians that are in a position of power that that are politically or anything else, or are they seen as the outcasts?
I think some of them are. I don't want to say something that I'm not sure of, but you definitely don't see them a lot.
Yeah.
Do they speak the same language as
of course.
they do?
Yeah, they speak also the indigenous language, Berber. Yeah.
Okay. So they still speak the indigenous language. All right. And so this is about someone else.
Yes.
Muammar Gaddafi. In the West, he's viewed as this crazed, dictator, killing everybody. No regards for life. Although I will say, in some black communities, some grassroots black activists, Muammar Gaddafi is praised for a lot of the good things he's done for his country, for Africa in general. So I'm sitting here with an Algerian born and raised. Tell us,
how is he viewed?
How is he viewed in Algeria or in Africa? And tell us the real deal with who he was from your understanding.
I'll tell you, he's definitely viewed more as a hero in Algeria. Not the I've heard that, he's definitely viewed from it, a hero more than anything. And like you said, all the things that you said, that the people you were talking about thought he did in Algeria, like they think the same thing. He wanted Africa to, you know, exploit its riches itself instead of, you know, someone else having, you know.
Instead of Europe, instead
Yeah.
of America.
He had a vision, and he was on his way to, you know, working towards executing that vision. And
Okay. So once again, propaganda by the West has made people believe that Muammar Gaddafi was this evil, bad man that needs to be stopped, weapons of mass destruction, all of that is false.
you know, he made his country rich. I mean,
Okay.
but in Algeria, he's definitely viewed as a hero more than anything.
Okay.
Saddam Hussein, what is his perception? What is, because again, the West, weapons of mass destruction, man needs to be stopped. You know, terror, dictator, just killing his people endlessly, violated so many human rights violations. That's what the West says. I personally think, you know, different, that they just wanted to exploit the oil and everything else and whatever have you, but that's me. But I'm asking you because you lived in Africa, you have more knowledge, right?
Yeah.
You are also a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, what was Saddam Hussein's?
Definitely also not a villain. He's not considered a villain at least in Algeria. I don't know about the other countries. Actually, I think my father knows someone who named his son Saddam.
That speaks volumes. Wow.
Yeah, you can
Speaks volumes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'm learning a lot here. You know, like I said, it's and hopefully you guys are as well. You know, so one or two more questions, I'm getting you up out of here, right? So, Algerians support Ukraine or Russia?
Russia.
without it.
Why is that? Because, you know, to be honest, I think it goes back to America because they think Russia's right. Because, you know, it goes back to America why they had the war. America wanted, I think, to put bases in Ukraine. And then Russia said, we don't want those bases. There's actually not American bases in Algeria too. So.
Wait, there's American bases in Algeria?
No, I mean there's not.
There's not.
So Algeria is always a neutral in the we stay neutral because we don't want anyone else to have, you know, how do we say it? Algeria is pro like America not getting into people's business. That's what they support more than anything. They think Russia is right by not wanting America near them.
Slavery did happen in Algeria, right?
Yeah.
Amongst Africans. When I look at Ghana, when I look at other places in Africa, they have this call to home return where African Americans or American Africans, or even if they are in another area in the Caribbean, wherever, where they can do this return home back to their country. And I say Ghana has it and a few other countries have it. Does Algeria has that as well, where the president, or they said, hey, listen, we know that we might have played a role in slavery and we're sorry, or whatever have you, come back home, you know, this is your home too. Have they made that stance to African Americans? Will they? Because, you know, that's something I want to know.
You mean I didn't understand the question.
Okay, so there is this call of home where different African countries felt they played a role into slavery.
Like
I don't think Algeria played a role in slavery.
You don't think?
No.
What do you know? Like, you tell me if something.
I'm just saying, not too sure about transatlantic slavery, but if you want to talk about the Arab slave trade, right, which happened around 640 or whatever have you, down that time when they shipped Africans to different parts of the world and countries and enslaved them, has any of the presidents, Arab presidents in Africa, have any of them said, hey, listen, what happened to y'all was unjust, was wrong. To your ancestors, what we did, but to the ones that are living now, you can come back here to this country. We might have played a role in it, or we did play a role. Do you know anything like that?
No.
No.
Nothing.
Okay. No, I'm just asking because Ghana has that where they open their doors to African Americans, because of a small little role that they also might have played, but also just to tell black people to come back home. So I was just seeing if that door was also extended in Algeria.
No, I don't think it was.
Should it be?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Why not?
To open the door?
Yeah.
I don't understand this.
If you, right, played a pivotal role in my enslavement, and you had another group or view yourself kidnap me and put me into another country to work as a slave, should, for whatever years and 200 years or whatever it is, right? Should you then tell the descendants, because we enslaved your ancestors, we feel sorry for doing that, we can't make it right with them, we can never make it right, but to the descendants, we open our doors back up, to our country, because what we did was wrong.
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, see, that's what I was saying. You had me nervous for a second.
No,
I'm like, wait, hold on, what's going on? It's all good. All right, so last question. Do you see yourself, well, you know what, 2 questions, but this is going to be last question. Do you see yourself staying here in America?
I do.
Why?
For me personally, there's more opportunities here than in my country. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't the case, but it is.
And take us out on this. You can speak in Arabic, you can speak in, French.
Yes.
It's all on you. What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be known for? What do the message that you want to put out there? In case there's a little girl your age in Algeria is watching this right now and, thinking about wanting to go afar, whatever have you, what would you say to that little Algerian girl right now?
I would say I know it's a cliche, but be be yourself.
Yeah.
And just be authentic. It's the best thing you can be. You can inspire maybe your kids, people around you, to be authentic. And because just being authentic, you would avoid a lot of mistake we do just by trying to fill voids or compensate for things that we shouldn't even be.
All right. Okay. All right. You sure you want to say something in Arabic real quick? Anything in French?
Let me say.
It's all good. Listen, thank you for coming on here. Thank you for taking the time. Again, I appreciate you coming on here and learning about Algeria and, open my mind up and letting people know things that we didn't know or we believed what was true and finding out, from you it wasn't, So thank you guys for watching. It's Just Different with Ty. Again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and see you on the next joint. Peace.